ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਵੇਸ਼ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ। ਅੱਜ ਜਿਸ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਲਗਭਗ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੰਸਰਨਿੰਗ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਯੂਜ਼ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਧ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਵਾਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੀਵੈਂਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਹੈ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਅਟਾਰਨੀ ਜਨਰਲ ਨੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ। ਨਿੱਕੀ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਜੀ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਫਾਰ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ very much for sparing time for Prime Asia.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Last day, yesterday, 2-3 days back, we had read a lot about the initiatives the government is taking to, protect the children from the use of social media. What type of, reforms are you demanding from federal government, or are you coming up with your own, regulations in coming days also?
Yeah, I think every parent out there is really worried about what their kids are seeing or doing and what's the impact of social media and AI, the negative sides of it. We're doing a lot in BC to use whatever tool we can to improve safety, but really the federal government has the best tools to start a nationwide protections for young people. We're asking them to do that. I was up in Ottawa meeting with Minister Miller and Minister Solomon and asking for very clear things that would make sure that those social media platforms and AI platforms are designed to keep people safe. And if they're not, that there's really strong accountability to those companies. It's been for too long that these companies are just experimenting on the minds of our young people. And that's resulted in some really sad things that none of us want to see, including suicides and exposure to things that are really harmful, that lead to mental health issues or eating disorders, or things that are just really not good for young people to be seeing at young ages. And so we want there to be better rules. And if the federal government doesn't do it, then we will step in to do whatever we can to fill gaps.
In past also, there were, reports like claims and counterclaims from government also that it will be done for the protection of children, that will be done, but nothing has been done till date. How hopeful are you from getting, required action from the federal government?
Yeah, they've had a few times that they've had online harm bills that were put forward that didn't go anywhere. We stepped in with our own laws for as much as we can, because the province has some powers and the federal government has some powers that are stronger than ours when it comes to big companies like the platforms. But I'm hopeful that they'll do something soon. I met with the ministers, and I think that they're focused on trying to bring something forward again. And hopefully that happens. But if it doesn't, then we stand ready in the province to fill in any gaps.
Can you briefly share what type of preparations the BC has put in place if they don't get required response from the federal government to accelerate the process?
Yeah, so what we're thinking about doing is making sure that there's a safety standard. So government's job is to understand what's safe and to set the rules as what's safe and what isn't. We do that in lots of things, right? There's a reason that the drinking age is a certain age. There's a reason that the smoking age is a certain age. You can't be young and be doing that kind of stuff. We have to set those rules. So we would be looking at setting rules as to what is safe for kids, and then holding those companies that don't provide safe users or safe products for kids accountable for making sure that they're safe, or just banning those products from kids of a certain age. So then Australia has done something where it's 16 and under, where anybody under 16 can't be on social media. Manitoba's also interested in that kind of work. So we're going to be working across other provinces to figure out how we can work together. And it wouldn't just be one province acting, because then if the national government's not doing it, the more of us that can step in to set rules, the more accountable those companies will be.
Will you like to be, strictly implement, or you are going to take the help of some educational institutes also, like schools, colleges, and will you be taking and coordinating the required ministers also to, educate the students to voluntarily stay away from the, misuse or be vulnerable category to the, scammers?
Yeah, it's a good point. We want our kids to learn how to use technology. It's going to be good for their future, but also be protected from those kind of negative things. And so we have digital literacy courses in our schools that we've promoted and expanded. So you know that your kid, when they go to a public school, they're learning how to use technology safely and what the risks are, right? How predators come through the phone disguised sometimes as their friends or colleagues, and how they can get taken advantage of, and what is the way that they can trust or not trust information that they're getting, because that's another issue. And how technology can help them learn in different ways. It's a really important skill set that we know our schools need to be doing these days. So that's definitely something that we've promoted, is digital literacy classes for our kids.
Apart from the bad impacts of social media, the another concern of parents is the rise of vaping and use of drugs in schools. Do you have plans to bring some required action to protect kids from these bad impacts also?
Yeah, we're tackling vaping in several ways. So first of all, making clear rules in our laws and in our schools that about vaping and underage vaping not being allowed. But also, we need to hold the companies accountable. I, as Attorney General, passed legislation last time that is about holding these companies accountable for the wrongful marketing to young people. They've done this through, putting flavors in there that are appeal to young people, whether it's fruit flavors or other candy-like flavors that make it so vaping seems like it's not an addictive thing and more like a fun thing. And so that wrongful marketing that they've done to target our young people to make them so vaping has been increased is, we say, a wrong tactic, and I'm as Attorney General taking them on in court about that, so we can challenge that and help put better protections for our young people.
The rise of college students and youngsters is also on the rise in the crime, especially in shootings, and we are seeing the involvement of a lot of students, though it's alleged that majority are from outside. But do you have plan to give relief to residents from these rising crimes, especially in lower mainland areas? Because in past also we have did listen a lot of claims, but nothing seems to have happened on the ground.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now that BC is leading across the country, was responding to extortion and crimes that are, like you're saying, happening with young people, and oftentimes individuals that are not from here and don't have status. So one of the things that's really innovative, maybe you've seen, is that the police are partnering with the border security. So people that are committing crimes that don't have status are being deported. We just put regulations in place about better gun controls for gangs, against gangs and other violent individuals, so they can't get through loopholes when it comes to their illegal use of guns. We have an unprecedented extortion task force that has a whole bunch of tools to it, including the designation of the Bishnoi gang as a terrorist organization, which brings even more tools to it. We can't stop until every single case of extortion ends, and we're going to keep targeting that. We've seen, hopefully, a continued decline in the number of cases, but we still need to keep our pedal on the gas and keep at it. And every tool that we have, we're going to use. I was just speaking to the Senate in Ottawa this morning about legal changes that I want to see in the criminal code that will help us go after extortion cases and violent criminals. BC, unlike other provinces, has seen our crime rate drop by 11% last year, which is more than other provinces, which is showing that there's progress, but we still have a lot more work to do.
As Attorney General of BC, what are your top priorities these days?
Yeah, so I think we work as a government, as in a team, as an Attorney General. A lot of the files of government we're a part of as the legal team of government and the Chief Legal Officer. And I would say a big focus of our government right now is public safety. and making sure that we are keeping communities across this province safe from a whole bunch of things, including online harm and online exploitation, like I already mentioned. We're also really focused on the economy as a government. And a lot of the major projects that are coming to Canada are coming in BC. I think we were punching above our weight. 4 out of the more than close to 50% of the projects that Carney first put on his list as major projects were BC projects. We're going to see in the next year, because of our hard work, billions of dollars of investment that will lift everybody up in our economy and all the businesses that rely on having a good economy. It's been a big focus of ours, and being on the side of people during this really tough trade time with Trump, and how we can make sure that British Columbians are protected from some of that negativity. So there's a lot of work going on in government, but those are some of our priorities.
Ms. Sharma, thank you very much for sparing time from your busy schedule. Hopefully it will help our viewers in a great way to have great expectations from your side. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸਨ BC ਦੇ ਅਟਾਰਨੀ ਜਨਰਲ। ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਵਾਕਾਂ ਦਾ, ਆਪਦੇ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਬਾਹਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਦੇ 2-3 ਵਾਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫੋਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਝਾਕ ਮਾਰ ਲਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੇਮਾਂ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਨੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਝਾਅ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਜੀ, ਅਤੇ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਕਰੋ। ਵੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ TV, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ।